Thanks for tuning in to the Anarchy Hour, and thank you for making us your number one podcast. My name's Casey Royer, and this is my brother Anton Shadows.
And I'm Anton Shadows with my brother Casey.
And you're watching
the Anarchy Hour.
Rain's falling from my eyes. All those lonely teardrops.
In 2.5 miles, take the exit onto Avenue 60.
2 miles, Avenue 60. The local rock group down the street is trying hard to learn the song. Don't learn the song.
Oblivion.
You better get the words right. You're on film.
Oh no.
Yep, I'm throwing you under the bus.
Shit.
Another pleasant.
Yeah.
Oh, we do it.
This is Demetrius. Anton didn't even know a monkey song.
I know. I shit the bed. Look at Sweet James.
He's getting a little older.
I can appreciate.
Hi guys, welcome to the Anarchy Hour. I'm Casey Royer. This is my partner Anton.
I'm Anton Shadows. This is my partner Casey.
And we're at a most excellent place right now. We're at Mr. Ed Colver, the photographer from the 80s, an old friend of mine.
Legend.
Many years ago. We're at his pad up in LA right now. So we're on location for the Anarchy Hour. I always have fun. Check it out. We're going to go walk through Ed's house and let you see what it looks like. Come on. And we're going to walk through. It's just going to be brief. So follow us. You're new leaders.
I don't think he knows we're coming. We're going to surprise him. Off the cardboard one. Tiptoe. Your face is looking really horrible, Anton. It's getting better, Hey, see if he's home.
I hear a dog. That's what we do. We're up in LA at Ed Culver's house. He took, so many album covers, like the Chili Peppers onto the Germs to Channel 3. Look, he's home. Hey,
what do you guys want?
Dude, how are you, man? It's Casey. You know me.
Yeah.
Anton Shadows. Glad to meet you.
This is my funny friend. He's a burn victim, and he's like trying to pull. We're trying to get him a sponsor for the Band-Aids and all the bleeding, and maybe a few transfusions potentially. Dude, how are you?
I'm fine.
Can we cruise through the pad and say hi?
Come on.
Unbelievable. Hello, puppy.
I brought you a gift too. An Anton gift.
We're at Ed Culver's house.
Too many humans.
Nice.
Hi, Boo Boo. What's your doggy's name? Check this out. I've been here one time before. Ed and I are friends from the past, at present, and future. And we're going to see Ed's eclectic collection of wonderful things. Over here we have like a chair that Abraham Lincoln sat in during the Gettysburg Address. Over here we have a pot that was made by Cleopatra from Egypt. Inside there's still a little bit of Egyptian mud. We've got a little dog that's an action figure and a representative of Ed. Hey Ed, whose dog is this? It would be yours, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
What's the puppy's name?
That's Dexter.
Hi Dexter.
My dog's name's Dexter. Really?
Wonders never cease. On to the tour. So good. Check it out.
It's okay.
All kinds of great stuff.
There you go.
I've got Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean's skull back here. He passed away last week. So come on into this room.
Show us around, Ed.
All right.
What you got here?
This is a beautiful, this is the library, Eddie. What do you think, Ed? Anything that stands out? Whose skull is that right there? Is that Jack Sparrow's skull from is that real? Dude. Anton. That skull is real, and it looks kind of like you're going to look in about 3 months as soon as that skin peels off your face, mister. Yeah, he's already messed up. You know that guy?
Let me feel the back of his head.
You look, see, it's a dead ringer. He's a relative.
Hi, Dex.
We have many wonderful books here. Ed Culver, my best bud. We're going to cruise. He's got pictures of us playing around in the punk world for like 30, 40 years. I mean, it was advanced. We used to call him the Viking, and he was really tall, and we looked up to him, and we still do. What do you guys got? Show me. Show and tell.
Explain that.
Show and tell.
Vintage prints of the actress Sarah Bernhardt.
From what era?
Probably just pre-World War I.
How did you get your hands on them?
A friend of mine is a collector and a photographer in New York found them, and I expressed interest in them, and he said, I found 2 copies of each print, so I ended up with a pair of them.
You're a way lucky man. Is that a confession stand?
Yeah,
kind
I
of?
believe so, yeah.
It looks like a Catholic kind
I'm
of
not
old
confessing
piece.
anytime
I'm not
soon.
confessing either, but but telepathically, everybody knows what you're doing from outer space. I'm not really sure. Hey, let's cruise down to the backyard where we're going to do the interview. Follow us. There's Charlie Manson's wood piece. This used to be owned by Elvis Presley, the king. Wonderful books collected by my bro. Some cool things. Jackets and stuff. This is great, Ed. This looks like your old apartment in there.
Yeah, my old studio.
Gotta take a peek in here.
Goodness
Go
gracious.
to the backyard, dead man. Take a peek in here, ladies and gentlemen. Ed Colver's private little room. All right, come on, let's go back. All right, guys, let's get down to the nitty
And
gritty.
Dexter waits. Dexter waits, hot Dexy.
And little Dexter
Oh,
waits.
Dexter waits. Oh, look at this yard. Is that Santa Claus? I love Santa.
Welcome to Fantasyland punk rock style. There's a lot of vintage stuff here. I'd like to collect a lot of cool stuff, like chopping blocks and stuff like vintage gallows. You can cut somebody's head off here if you want to. And it's bitching. Okay, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
You're watching Casey Royer and Anton's Anarchy.
Hi, on today's show, we have Mr. Ed Colver, photographer extraordinaire, and you're watching the Anarchy Hour. I'm Casey Royer, and this is my co-host, Anton Shadows.
And this is my co-host, Casey Royer.
And this is our special guest today, Mr. Ed Colver. Say hi to the funny people out there. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. And so we're just talking about like stuff, and Ed's been taking pictures forever since we were all young bucks at these punk rock shows that we kind of threw together in like the late 70s, I think. Was it late 70s probably? Because I figure like I was like involved in stuff like in 75-ish, 76. You were there too, right? Because I remember you...
I started going out in late 78.
Late 78?
Yeah.
Perfect timing, Edward.
Yeah, it kind of was.
We're really good friends. We've known each other for many episodes of our lives, Wow, sounds like kind of a sitcom or something.
Shitcom.
But yeah, shitcoms all over the board. I remember, where are you from, Ed? Where'd you go? You grew up in L.A., right?
Yeah, in the San Gabriel Valley.
San Gabriel Valley's cool. Big.
I was born in Pomona. Never lived there.
Uh-huh.
Lived in San Dimas Canyon and Laverne and Upland and Covina. Just all around out there.
Southern California basins and stuff.
I've been here for 19 years.
At this one, right here at this place? Wow, how time flies when you're having fun, right? So yeah, I remember you from way back in the day with the Adolescents. I think you first met us right around 1978, 79. And you were
79.
nicknamed the Viking, which is a whole different story altogether. Christian death kind of connection here. We'll probably get to it, but you know how we think, very erratically. So that's why we like it. So yeah, that was... what was the first adolescent show you went to? Was it the Starwood?
Probably, yeah. I've got those full stage photographs. That's weird because he had that big Spider-Man cutout in some of the photos, and then it's missing in some of them.
Oh, really? Yeah. My bass drum had Spider-Man on it.
No, there was up on the wall above you, behind you.
I remember that.
Yeah, big cardboard
Yeah,
Spider-Man. Then
yeah.
I guess it fell down or something, and it wasn't in all the photos. Kind of strange.
You were such the photographer extraordinaire back in the day. I can't believe you captured so many moments that were just, just like, it wasn't a big thing. It was a big movement at that time. Our parents
Not at
hated
all.
us. Everybody didn't like what we were doing. Yeah. And we had Jerry Roach on, a friend of yours, that did the same thing. Just went for the fun of it and this freedom of speech and stuff, and that's what you were doing. Ed Colver, the Viking. Anton, you remember Ed's pictures from way back in the day?
I sure do. I kind of went through your Wikipedia, and it blew my mind even more than I ever even could imagine. You've done over 500 album covers.
Yeah, some of them are good.
You even did like Linkin Park. You did.
Found Anton's clipboard that has some of the album covers that Ed has taken the front cover back when records were like really popular. He took. Well, wait, Anton, read the list of album covers that Red Hot Chili Peppers is a good one I like.
You did China White, which was the famous. Yeah, what was that? That looked like a murder scene, or
It was a real murder scene.
was that in Huntington Beach, or was that in L.A.?
That was on Gardner Street, just above Santa Monica in Hollywood. I'd been at Fear, Circle Jerks, and China White show at Stardust Ballroom, and then I was with my friend Kim Comet from Silver Chalice and my friend Barry Fife, and we went west to go hang out at Okie Dogs instead of heading east to the San Gabriel Valley to go home. And I turned down off of Sunset off of Gardner. I shot 11 rolls of black and white film, and a friend of mine had given me a roll of fast color film, so I put it in my camera just to have something in there, and which I could always back it out and save it if I didn't use it. And going down Gardner, there was this body under a blanket and stuff, and cops interviewing.
Iconic.
Yeah, and I stopped my car in a T intersection, turned, and I shot one frame out of the window, and I threw my camera in Kim's lap and took off because I thought the cops were going to yell at us. And that picture came out primo.
You also did the Wild in the Streets, that the Circle Jerks Wild in the Streets.
I did Group Sex, which I like much better. I'm not happy
Oh,
with the
it's a
Wild in the Streets cover. I did them both.
Oh, you did both of
He
those?
did both
oh,
Circle Jerks album
the
covers.
one with the color veer on it, which that was Group Sex, right?
Yeah, I did that.
I was on the cover of that one.
Yeah.
Picking my nose with the yellow shirt.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Ed.
That's why I took the picture right at
Because I was just like this. Ed was just waiting on the finger pick, and I did it. You know, we think this stuff up in advance, you know, right?
It was all planned.
Yeah, that was a great one. That was Gerber and somebody's fake...
Rob Henley.
Rob Henley and
fake
Gerber's
wedding.
fake wedding.
Yeah,
And I think Rob went out with, like, Darby Crash, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I think they crossed... they shared ice cream cones.
Something like that.
Something like that. So, well, that's amazing. Let's see. Which other one, Anton, do you have?
I was always wondering about the Damaged record that you did, the Rollins punching the mirror,
Black Flag
and,
album cover.
How
Damaged.
bloody was his head? Was that real blood?
No, I made that blood.
Well, how did you
Nice.
do that?
I brought Red India ink with me, and they had the mirror there, and I put duct tape all over the back of it, and I washed it, and then I hit it once with a hammer and broke it, and then cleaned it again, and then I went in the kitchen with my Red India ink and started experimenting to make blood.
Unreal.
Because you know, back then you couldn't get stage blood.
Yeah, there was
Now
no,
you-
like,
now
photoshopping or, playing
You
with
couldn't have used ketchup.
No, that would look lame. So I had the Red India ink, and after I got the mirror ready, I went out in the kitchen and started experimenting to make the blood. I had Red India ink, and I used that for color, and then I mixed it with instant coffee, which was for coloring
Thickening it.
consistency.
Yeah.
And then I used liquid dishwashing soap for consistency also. So it's Red India ink, instant coffee, and dishwashing. It looked perfect in color and black and white.
Yeah, we were convinced it was blood already, and this guy knows what blood looks like.
You know,
Nah, thank you.
If he had just, it needed to be set up. If he just gone, okay, 1, 2, 3, smack, there wouldn't be blood on his hand, and he would have one chance to get the photo.
Yeah, it would be a long shot, which is a long shot. Get it?
Yeah, sort of.
A long,
I get the picture.
something like that. Oh. Okay, everything else is good in the hood. Okay, what else did he do? He also did the Channel 3 album cover. And
We
that's
just interviewed Mike McGrath.
Just did Mike McGrath. His book's out called Miles Per Gallon. We're just
Amazing.
promoting that one. It's
Amazing
really good.
man.
And he has, that's your hand in, what's the title of that one? Just Channel 3?
Got a gun. Got a
I
gun.
got a gun?
No, that's
No.
Fear of Life, the album.
Was that your hand?
Yeah, and I only took 2 frames and one came out. I did that for Black Flag's Damage. It was supposed to be a liner sleeve photo and it didn't get used. I also did the spray paint can and they didn't use that either. They were going to do a liner sleeve, and so Channel 3 wanted me to do something for their cover, and I asked them what they were going to call it, and they said Fear of Life. I go, I got the picture. I remember I threw a print on Posh Boy's desk, and he goes, oh, this is great, but I don't know. He thought I was going to get in trouble using it.
It's punk rock, for God's sake.
He's English, though. He's English. They think he's English. He thinks differently. No big deal.
He thinks he owns the rights to
Yeah,
that photo.
yeah.
Do you know that?
Just I'm going to get sued by Paramount. What? I'm
He
sorry.
thinks he owns the rights to that photo, calling it a work for hire, telling me he'd already licensed to a third party. And it's like, hey, I did that for Black Flag. I didn't even do it for you.
Yeah, paperwork is just a bunch of gibberish for people that want to take credit from people that actually did the work. So everyone will always know the pictures that you did, because, everyone's busted through the internet on who did what to who and stuff. So, forget about all that shit talking. But yeah, so you'll always have credit everywhere it's due. They just
Hopefully.
look you up, and there's just a bunch of cool stuff.
Well, my stuff's
I mean, you
all
had
over.
your book, Blight at the End of the Funnel.
Yes, sir.
And that was the very first photo documentation of, like, punk rock. I think the first book, right? That's the first one you did?
Yeah, that was the first book.
That book is genius, dude. I mean, it's got so much incredible stuff. Like all the album covers that you did, there's little extra pictures around those photo shoots. And
they screwed that all up. Though.
Where do they find that book? Where do they find the book?
It's out of print.
It's out of print.
Copies. I got somebody sent me a recent thing where a copy was just under $3,000.
What? How great, dude!
Yeah, I'm not reprinting it either. They're going to retain their value.
Dude, that is a great book. But that is an amazing book, and
it was like a 25-year overview of my work. It wasn't just punk rock stuff. It was street photography and portrait photography and some of my sculptures.
Picture the old Hearst. Remember your blue Hearst?
Yeah.
The Hearst or whatever. Yeah. The book is one of my favorite things on earth, and I'm not kidding.
Thank you.
We're honest here. We're brutally honest, actually. And
okay, so to say that.
What do you do with it? Okay, the next album, which is another one.
TSOL, the most iconic, the EP.
TSOL
right? Was it
EP.
the EP? Where Jack's point, I mean, that thing's gone around the world.
Cuckoo's Nest, right? It was sticking at the Cuckoo's Nest.
And I painted the clouds out so he couldn't tell it was the Cuckoo's Nest.
Did you? Because you could always tell the clouds. You knew. You knew it was
blotted out Jerry's clouds. That's awesome.
Well,
people want to know that.
Jerry would have something to say about that.
Yeah, he's all, well, those are my clouds.
Does Jerry know that?
Jerry's a great guy. He doesn't care.
And I got to tell you, one of my favorite records by this young man, one of my favorite songs on the planet is "Welcome to Reality." I remember being a kid and having an EP with Casey, with
the Adolescents
10-inch
EP.
Where did you guys do that at?
We shot that in Pomona, right, Ed?
Yeah, Spotter Cemetery.
Yeah, a cemetery with the Kepner family crest on the grave thing that we stood up and over and stuff. And Ed took that photo, "Welcome to Reality" Adolescence EP, with the song "Welcome to Reality." Things start moving, and what was the other one?
I freak out on that song. I was like, how did you think of that beat?
Like, yeah, but
so
the words with that.
Blood so thick, the horse must hold his head
hands down. Tony Adolescent, good going, dude.
And Steve Soto.
You too, Ed. You did the thing. You made it here. Electricity.
Electricity. Let's give a moment for Steve Soto.
Steve Soto, moment for Steve Soto.
Yeah, what a shame.
Okay, he heard us. But okay, check it out. That's the first TSOL EP. I think it was a 5-song Abolish Government and those songs. And what was another album cover he did, Anton, my burnt friend? You
did a lot of Walla Voodoo stuff.
I did a lot of Stan Ridgway stuff. I did one album cover for Grandma's House for Walla Voodoo.
Nice.
And he did the Rodney on the Rock, the best of Rodney on the Rock.
I did.
Yeah. I looked up your. You probably don't. You've done so many. It says clearly that you've done 500 or more album covers, which is ridiculous.
You can put your cigarette out on his face if you want to put it.
Yeah, you can.
He likes that. Just like
I've been burned before.
Save the ashtray. Just right on the cheek. He doesn't feel it.
What made you predominantly shoot black and white?
Because I thought the punk scene was quite
dark,
bleak, and nihilistic, sort of. And people say, "What about the pink hair?" And I go, "That's superfluous bullshit."
Yeah. Because it's more of a feeling than like a poser thing. Back in the day, it was more of like a movement just against standing up for what we believed in and just being able to play gigs freely. And all the extra little bling, came in. It's kind of an English thing, The pink and all that. It's kind of
I'm
from England.
And mohawks and all that.
Yeah,
weird because they stole that from an American Indian tribe.
Yeah, I know. Wait a minute. What was that again?
Yeah.
Who did? Oh, the Mohawk. Yeah.
British.
Yeah. And there's no Mohicans in the UK.
No.
Are you sure about that?
I think the Sex Pistols are a little confused, but hey, we're all confused.
Did you ever shoot the Pistols?
No.
Never shot the Pistols?
No. You know what? I never listened to any British punk music. None of it.
Really? Just
not a fan.
Well, you had some of the best music in the world. Obviously,
right here.
Adolescents,
right
Circle Jerk,
right here, Southern California.
Minutemen. Did you get Minutemen? You get some shots of Minutemen too?
Yeah, sure. I photographed everybody.
They were
about.
We're lucky. I'm lucky. Both of us are lucky to have the places where we can go document or play and do this. Like in a number of clubs that we could just go to within an hour away from where we lived. And that was cool because I'd see you at the Starwood, you'd show up at the Whiskey, and you'd show up at like all these places, even like, Devonshire Downs and Perkins Palace.
Yeah,
and
the Ritz and Riverside,
Oh.
and I was everywhere.
everywhere we'd see Ed. And once again, he was taller than all of us. I
If
think
you
he's-
went to a show, I was there probably.
and he had black hair, like parted in the middle, kind of like it was. You could see Ed from afar. And the adolescents, we got to be pretty good friends. I think we talked about this before. We found sanctuary being around a big, tall dude that looked like he knew what he was doing, because we were in the adolescence a lot of the time. We knew each other back in the early days, and we felt like kind of like camaraderie and stuff. And you got into every gig apparently for free. That's also a plus. I'm a photographer. Did
That
you?
was weird, yeah. Like my friend Robert Hill, I got him into about 300 shows with me just because he was with me.
Does he write for the Times or something?
No, that's Robert Hilburn.
Oh, he'll burn, huh?
Robert Hill was
Well, the hills are burning. So
another photographer.
wow, that was kind of a strange thing. The hills are burning, and Robert Hill. I don't know. It's a fire hazard in the Pacific Palisades. So yeah, shoot. What other album cover, Anton, has he done? He's done hundreds.
He did Shattered Faith, which is very close friends of
Shattered
mine.
Faith?
One of the
Very great
early. I don't know. I mean, they were late '70s in Orange County. They're a pretty early punk band. Melodic punk. Denny McGahee and Kerry Martinez and Spencer Barge.
Terry's awesome.
He is. I mean, did you see
Kerry.
they just got invited to go to go to Europe with you and TSOL?
Whoa, Shattered Faith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shattered Faith.
Yeah, check it out. I was looking at a flyer, and
I
I'm
told
like,
Denny you said what's up, and he's like, tell him I love him.
and it
He
says like
loves it.
TSOL, and then DI, and then Shattered Faith. I'm all like, cool. Sounds like a
Orange County and
Sounds like an
Baden.
Orange County thing. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at it, and it's a European date. So we get to run into Jack and the guys in Shattered Faith in a different country, and that's always exciting when you see friends and stuff. Because that's what we do.
Hang 10 in East Berlin.
Yeah, Hang 10 in East Berlin. And we play that song in Berlin, and they go nuts. I feel like I'm dreaming.
That's funny.
And you've got all the pictures. You've got. You're lucky you have a lot of photographs of the whole ride.
Mm-hmm.
And that's neat. You could go into any time frame and just look at like when you were taking Darby Crash, taking pictures of Darby. Did you think that one picture where he has the big saucer eyes and the mohawk against the wall or whatever?
1,000-yard stare.
Yeah. I think he's on some pretty good LSD. Darby did a lot of drugs, and he killed himself eventually. So remember, kids, drugs might make you kill yourself.
And Pat Smear is
or
just
who
bigger
knows?
than ever now. Huh? Pat Smear.
what?
Pat Smear is just, Nirvana and freaking Foo Fighters. To pluck him out of obscurity, like you always knew had magic in that guitar. The riffs that they did, the Germs were just. They're on that level with the Adolescents.
Yeah,
That whole
it was
there's a
great.
certain level of iconic. I was going to ask you another thing too. If we need to flash some photos, will you work with us on that?
Of course.
Well, why don't we do a little like a photo collage, and right now of what Ed's work has gone through, which is an amazing thing right now.
Dexter's not. I don't know if he's 100% behind this.
Dexter,
right
what do you think about doing a little thing about your dad's like photo collection?
He
Yeah.
said, yes.
Looks like we got to go
Paw
from
up.
Dexter,
Paw
and
up.
we'll be back after this wonderful adventure through Ed's life. Hi guys, Casey here with Anton and Ed Colver. You're back on the Anarchy Hour.
And Dexter.
And Dexter, our new mascot that's going to go on tour with us, right, Ed? Mm-hmm. He's a watchdog. He looks like he could really take out somebody trying to steal our stuff. Yep. Dexter, would you really bite him and save our stuff?
Ferocious.
He's a damn love bug.
He's not ferocious. He's a lover. So yeah, we're back here and we're just talking to Ed about stuff. And what else is going on, Ed? Just you've been living up here in LA for a while, and you just get out of the house very much?
No.
I don't like to. I don't like to get out of the house either. So I go to my gigs and whatever is happening. But yeah, I don't blame you because you have quite a cool life and quite a cool like past, which is kind of amazing. I think you. Let's see, you did the Germs album. What other album covers did you do? We have that written down.
Did you all the photos in the back? Did you do those photos?
The Gate? No.
Oh.
You did the Linkin Park, Bad Religion,
REM,
Shattered Faith.
I love REM.
You did the Cramps album cover?
No, I did group photos of the Cramps and Can Your Pussy Do the Dog and Flame Job.
Can Your Pussy Do the Dog? Can you describe that?
Can Your Pussy Do the
Go
Dog?
ahead. You almost said something. Okay, what does that mean?
Cramp song.
Yeah. It means can you? I try to figure it out because no. And then you did the Wasted Youth album cover.
Pushead did the artwork on the cover of Wasted Youth, Reagan's In, and I did all the photos. That was the first place that the Wasted Youth flip photograph, that one was published on the back of Wasted Youth's album.
One of the most iconic photos ever taken.
Great picture. It's on the Adolescence First promo poster. It's at Adolescence You'll Flip with Ed's.
Really? With that
picture. And it was
I
1980. Was that 1980 when you took that?
81.
81.
July 4th, 1981.
How the hell do you remember?
At Perkins Palace. Took it during the Adolescence set.
And he took it during the Adolescence set. So it was.
How the fuck do you remember all this
how
stuff?
apropos for it being on Frontier Records' promotion situation. It's kind of cool because punk has always been we take care of ourselves and kind of like
because we have to, nobody else will.
Because no one would take care of us. Basically, you hit the nail on the head there. But it was fun because we just created this stuff out of our own creative abilities, the music, the photo aspect of like the whole scene that we grew up with.
And it was all analog, no computers. You used to find about gigs like a flyer at a show. You'd find a flyer and you'd grab it and stuff. I had a crazy collection of them. I sold them all now, though.
Yeah.
Were they worth? Some of them were worth some money, huh?
Afraid so. Yeah, fucking ridiculous.
I wish I had my record collection. I got some signatures from so many. I threw them all away. It's just so. Wow. You think? I don't know.
He lost them in the fire. He lost them in the fire.
Like '82, I started growing my hair out again. I was listening to Black Sabbath. It was just like I just kind of went. I thought punk's gone. It'll never be back. My mom would always say, if something comes back twice, you're too old to be doing it. Well, this is like number 4 or 5, right?
Well, what about just eating meals? Like the second, third meal. You've done that a few times.
I have. I eat one meal a day.
Smoothies?
No.
Carbs or protein? Little carbs, protein, 50-50?
I don't count it.
Shoot, I hate counting.
Is that how you keep this boyish figure?
He's looking good for.
No, he looks damn good,
man. You're a triathlon Jack LaLanne specimen.
I was 29 in '78. There was no ageism. Back in the early scene, if like somebody was there was a reason they were there. It wasn't like cliquish and weird.
It was something to do that made sense.
It was pretty violent too back then.
Not until about '81.
Yeah. And I remember the Kookies that started getting pretty freaking crazy.
It was pretty wild.
I had a beer bottle glazed the top of my head, just grazing.
Well, thank God you still got all your hair there.
Yeah.
No, it hit him.
It parted it down the middle.
It didn't hardly change the trajectory, but it went ding.
God, just like a bullet flying by, just zing.
Ed, if you were to pick your favorite photo, and I want to be able to show people your favorite photo that you ever took.
Oh, how many have you taken? Like a 200,000 photos?
I haven't counted them. In the last 3 years, I've been working on a new book project. I have a publisher.
Ooh.
Publisher, John Backus Addison, has House of Blank, and he wants to do looks like a 4-volume box set, 450 pages each.
Wow.
I'm speechless because I could just imagine because I was a part of all your documentation. It's kind of like
a bunch of photos of you.
Dude.
I recently got scanned as like some of the stuff. I don't even remember. I was on a big stage 2.5 feet away from Joan Jett photographing her, and I don't even remember ever seeing them. And I was on a big stage. It's like, how did I get away with that shit? You know, I shot all that live stuff with a.
I know, being 6'4" and all.
You know, I shot all my live photos with a 50mm lens.
Wow.
Like I'm this close to HR when I'm taking his pictures, shit like that. You know, there's no distortion, and you know, people say, oh, I feel like I was there, and it's because of that lens that. It's like human vision perspective. It doesn't distort.
Yeah, it looks really present.
It's like, here I am. This is what I see, and it was like, that's what, you know. And I was just like in the middle of that shit.
Wow. So back to the question at hand.
Oh.
Do you have one
Favorite photo?
the photo of me? I'm hoping you'll save it.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I'm just joking. I'm kidding, folks. I've been disqualified off that list now. Okay.
If you were to just pick,
there's a million
Well,
of them.
this is the best known one.
so we'll just go with it.
We'll go with it. Oh,
We'll go with it.
I was hoping you'd say that. That's me.
Hey,
That's
you know,
me.
You know what?
Joking.
Like he went doom 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 boom. You know
that guy?
Yeah, Chuck Burke. And
This kid right here?
yeah, that's Chuck Burke.
Chuck Burke, ladies and gentlemen, upside down.
How crazy is you got the Wasted Youth logo on the back of the fucking pant?
He's Burking right now. So it's an action word.
And it's also the right side up because
And that was
no,
no, that would mean people are on the roof. And that's the way.
I mean the sticker.
Oh yeah, isn't that crazy? Yeah, it worked out perfect.
Yeah,
You know, that's
been,
classic.
You know, a wine company licensed it, Levi's licensed it, Vans licensed it. A bunch of people have used it.
It's a great photo. Great photo. I can't wait until that package.
There's another amazing one that he was so kind as to share.
Minor Threat.
Minor Threat, baby. We're just a minor threat.
Ed Colver.
Wait. That's not Minor Threat. That's Ian Mackay of Minor Threat.
Oh, that's Ian Mackay of
Oh,
Minor
yeah,
Threat.
sorry. My bad.
Oh, see? Straight from the horse's camera.
People, they
that
say
make sense?
him and they say Minor Threat, and it's like, well, he was the one at 4. Maybe,
That's right.
You know, like people
Yeah.
post up a picture of Rollins and go Black Flag, and it was like, was it?
No,
was it a one-man band?
Yeah.
Really?
Was it Des Cadena? Was it?
Yeah.
You know,
Is
was it
that
Keith
picture,
Morrison?
look, and right here, it actually like somebody's trying to suck on his head. It looks like he's hungry or wants a little salt.
You know,
You know, see right there? See, is he gonna? Does that look like? He looks
That
like
looks-
he wants to.
there's like that. One of those is Pat DeLonghi, and those guys are all in bands. I think, at least I think him and him.
That guy looks like he's on some good substance. I'm kidding. That's a great shot. Are there any more pictures that Ed took in there?
Oh yeah, I'll show you a few. Man,
Oh
you
boy,
got some great.
dude, we're in royalty. We're in hell. You know.
Oh, here we go again. We got.
Oh, look, he took Ice T's picture.
Cube.
Or Ice Cube's picture. Sorry, T.
Casey?
Yes, sir.
This photograph of Ice Cube, I was hired by my friend Dino Paradis that actually worked for Rick Rubin for many years. He was art director at Priority, and he hired me to do press photos.
Nice.
And, I was paying my rent.
Shoot.
And so I went down to Ice Cube's office in Compton, and I brought my camera case, which had my medium format camera and my 35, but I was just doing press photos. But I used a little tiny portable strobe pack and one lamp and a head and an umbrella and a light stand.
Basic
so
setup.
instead of walking in with an on-camera flash and taking that, and everybody kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
So I just plug it in, put up the stand, put the lamp head on it, put the umbrella on it, and then everybody was lit decently.
Instantly, yeah.
And so he's sitting at the desk with the suits behind him, and I see his eyes, and it's like, oh wow, And so after they left, I said, hey, can I take your picture? And he said, sure. And I drug that lamp over it, and I had my medium format camera in my camera case, and I had black and white roll of film. So I had him sit on the arm of a couch so there would be a blank wall behind him. And then I brought that light over, and I used my medium format camera. I told him to put his chin down because, I'm looking at you, but all of a sudden I'm paying attention to you.
Oh, right. So
It
different.
totally changed it. It becomes much more aggressive.
It does.
When
Look
I'm
at
just
that.
looking at you, it's not aggressive.
Don't hurt me, Cube.
Predatory animals have eyes in the front of their heads, like humans.
Yeah.
That's a category we fall into.
Territorialism.
Territorial animals. So I shot 10 photos in 1 minute, and then I was done. And the suits walked back in and go, what are you doing? And it's like,
Not a whole lot.
this is a kind of, pretty interesting story. So I took those in 1 minute. I took 10 photographs. I was done. Those guys kind of walked in and complained, but didn't try and take the film or do anything. And then I made, when I was doing darkroom work, I'd do test strips. Instead of doing gradated and using a bunch of paper, I'd use strips and I'd throw it in there. And I did his eyes. So I had the script with just his eyes, and I took it up to Dino, and he taped that up on his computer. And a week later, he said, "Hey, we want to use this for a billboard."
Oh,
And I was like, "Whoa, cool!"
that is classic. And you know what? Look at that depiction of just like his whole.
Was Cube big at this time? Was he big?
No,
or?
no, that was immediately after NWA broke up.
Oh, so yeah, he hadn't even done Lethal Injection and all those.
He looks like he was back in the day. Kind of like a little more
What's
like.
he like?
Oh, he was cool and smart.
He
I
seems
liked him.
so just accessible.
Yeah.
So,
I got to find his business card. My friend wants to buy it off me. It says Ice Cube, Street Knowledge Productions, Compton, California.
Oh, how classic!
wow.
So anyway, then I'm at a friend's house, or a friend's loft by where my old studio was. It was so cool. You used to come over there and stuff because Triple X moved in across the hall from me.
You were
and
talking
stuff.
about
Yeah, at the brewery.
Yeah, I got to see you guys a lot more then.
That was fun. That was your old apartment they had all made up at
Studio.
vaulted ceiling. Studio. Yeah, that was a lot of fun and stuff. But wow,
I'm lucky. I've never lived in an apartment my entire life.
it was like a flat kind of, like a big, huge
I
area.
had 22-foot high ceilings.
We shot a lot of footage there. You took
That
us
one
to
with the silhouette of the dog I shot. You guys remember that?
which one?
The DI dog projected onto you guys.
Oh yeah, where our heads are like this. We're holding up the banner. Oh, dude, you've done all the pictures you've taken of my career are just mind blowers, and I love them. There's your shoot.
You know, totally.
Look, there it is. Henry Rollins doing the very original, like, Damaged album cover, and Ed took that one too. And used the India ink, red India ink, mixed up with instant coffee and some dishwashing detergent.
How many
to make
takes,
the
Ed?
blood?
Huh?
How many takes on this one?
How many did I shoot? I don't know. I didn't count. Not that many.
Was Henry a nice guy?
Yeah, we got along fine.
He's a good guy.
He
You guys-
seems so ornery.
Yeah, well, he's East Coast. You know, they had to be tougher out there. Like,
But they
lifting-
come to West Coast and they got to show some respect.
They're all
right?
lifting weights, boxing. Hey, let's go surfing, bro. It's skateboarding. It's a change.
I'm gonna jump back to Ice Cube real quick.
Okay.
Sorry.
So a friend of mine that had a studio in the complex where I was, I went down. They was hanging out with some friends of his, and one of them was a later art director, Priority. And she goes, "Oh, I've heard of your work. I like what I've seen," or something like that. And you know, it's like I want to see more. And so I said, "Hey, I got a stack of prints upstairs. You want to look through them?" And she goes, "Sure." And I went up and got them and brought them down. And she's flipping through them. And she goes, "Oh, you did this Ice Cube? We wanted to use it, and we didn't know who took it." And then it became the greatest hits album cover.
Oh,
Pretty cool.
small world. You know what I mean? Because that building they used to live in had a lot of action. You know, a lot of people going in, industry people. Like, it's like you said, Triple X was I don't know, was floor down or floor up or something.
They were on the second floor on the front of the 2020 building.
No,
Was that Brew 102?
No, that was on the south side of the 101, just going into downtown.
So life is
Kind
good
of like
with.
where the warehouse district is.
Yeah, that was a
So-
neat place.
So, they've used it for Ice Cube's greatest hits package. I don't know whether I got credited on it or, as far as I know, they didn't have the right to do that. Mm-hmm. And they also made hoodies out of it, which I haven't sorted out yet. It's like, oh, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, I know what
How
you
can they
mean.
use your stuff if they?
Hey,
Isn't that illegal? Isn't that illegal?
I photographed Snoop Dogg in the studio when he was recording the Dogfather album. And I was photographing the room for Euphonics, a mixing board company, and I did architectural photographs of recording studios and post-production facilities for probably over 30 years. I started doing that in '84. People haven't seen any of that stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I photographed Ozzy's home studio, and I left him a copy of my book, and I sent it to OCCIE.
Oh,
Said, fuck me.
Ozzy.
Yeah, I
Ozzy.
grew up in the 50s with Ozzy and
It was a joke.
You
Say
know,
Ozzy and Harriet.
yeah, I knew how to spell it.
It was showing our age.
Good thing you didn't write Ricky Nelson or anything.
I like Ricky Nelson.
I love him.
Yeah, I knew how to spell his name. I bought the import copy of the first Black Sabbath. That's the only one I really liked.
Yeah.
I bought Paranoid, but it was like,
Oh, I don't know. Apparently it's pretty grooving, but yeah, that's when they changed up. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I left him a copy signed to OCCIE, and then later I was like, oh,
Do you have some pictures left of that?
of the
Ozzy?
studio. I didn't photograph him.
Oh, you didn't photograph him? Oh, I see.
But they will be available to you on the 4-disc box set
So
of photos coming up by Ed Colver one of these days. Or it's a box. It would be actual photos, right? Do you have plans for your new book coming out or whatever? The volumes of your stuff. When's the release date?
I don't know. It's at least a year away.
Will I be alive still?
Yeah.
Good, good. That's all I really care about. I'd like to see it because, man, it's just like
I will be too.
I can't believe that.
That attitude.
Whoa, that's shortening the release date. Oh, God. Okay, welcome to the Anarchy Hour. Back with Ed Culver, my buddy, for 45 years.
In the book, plural, that I'm doing, I'm also including the kind of noir Skid Row photographs I did to kind of show.
Ooh, I want to see some of those.
He's got a lot of human interest photos he took, like, say, of just like, human interest photos of life in L.A. and life in just around, like, say, it's limitless. I can't really put my finger on exactly what photo I'm talking about that he's taken, but he's very objective.
I paid attention to everything.
Some homeless people,
I wasn't just shooting bands.
A tent.
Yeah.
So many people are photographing live punk rock shows, and that's all they do.
Yeah.
Is live punk rock photos, and it's like they don't do any portraits, they don't do any band photos. They're just taking these random photos.
Yeah, just one mindset. Yeah, because the world is like a lot larger around punk rock than just the photos of Black Flag on stage. Hey, didn't you take our picture at the Stardust Ballroom for the back of the Adolescence album, the blue one?
No.
Who took those pictures? Did you take any of those pictures?
No, I'm not going to mention that dipshit.
Oh, okay. Never mind. On to the next story. Anton, your question.
Okay, you know what? Let's talk about these horrible fires that you guys went through up here. I mean, I'm so glad that you're safe and hopefully all your friends and you didn't have people.
I have multiple friends that lost their home.
The whole home.
Multiple friends gone. My friend Joe Gutierrez I was talking about earlier from the plague and stuff, and his
my God,
girlfriend's place burned up in Altadena, and he found a color video of the fire of her house on TikTok.
Oh,
so she's got a color film footage of her house.
Kind of she's famous now in a horrid memory.
I couldn't imagine losing everything.
I know.
No, I mean,
I couldn't even imagine.
And like you said,
Terry Churchman, the guitar player from Silver Chalice, they lost their home. Yeah, and then
it affected a lot of people, hundreds of thousands of people.
It's insane.
Yeah, and I'm wondering because the depth of the fire, which is only not too far from Ed's house up here in L.A. How far did the fire get from here?
I think it was at least 5 miles.
5 miles?
Yeah, it was quite.
But you were concerned about the wind direction.
Yeah, big time.
I mean,
5
it
miles,
shifts and you're gone too.
It's just right over there. You can almost see the hills, whatever.
Well, the way the wind was making it travel was like, they gave us a possible evacuation order, and it's like, I didn't think so, but who knows?
Yeah, when the wind changes, powerful winds. Those winds were uncommonly
up to 100 miles an hour, wasn't it?
That doesn't.
At one point?
It's not normal and stuff. So I'm glad.
And normally Santa Anas don't come in January and February.
No, there's summer.
It's usually right after it's fall. So it's like, wow, to lose your home and to go through all that. Now, what was the smoke like here and all the dust?
Check this out.
There was smoke and there was ashes on our cars down in Orange County coming up.
Yeah,
there.
I mean,
and that must have been from the Riverside fire because the winds are blowing from the east, Santa Ana winds, which blow toward the ocean. So we're missing all the fire that Ed was next to up here in L.A. at the Pacific Palisades, and because the wind was blowing away from Orange County and east, so we got lucky. But
okay, so
I guess our ashes are from the Riverside fire. Thank you very much. We're fire people.
I took this here in the backyard on the second day of the fires.
When the sun was sinking in a bloody red.
No, it wasn't sinking.
That was midday?
No, it was about
Those are flames. Those are flames, Anton. You should know.
Whoa, I've dealt with flames.
Shit in the air.
Oh,
what?
Show
this is unedited.
Smoke,
This is the photograph I shot.
Yeah. The smoke is just making the sun look like an orange ball of smoke.
I know. I went surfing the afternoon when the smoke all came down here, and the sun as it set. I've never seen anything like it. It was blood red, and everybody's just commenting, going, "Oh my God!"
It's the biggest disaster in our country's history.
There's a video of his girlfriend's house burning down.
Show.
That's Ed's friend's house burning down.
Who was it exactly? So we can.
Lena, it's my friend Joe Gutierrez's girlfriend. She was a friend of ours.
God, that's horrible,
He
man.
didn't
That's
show
horrible.
it to her.
Oh, you did, I'm
Oh.
sure.
Well, yeah, she has to see it now. It's on the media.
that's-
You know,
It's
kinda
hard to
kinda
imagine.
screwed up.
It's hard to imagine anything of that magnitude.
Yeah, because
you know,
you say you have a fire that,
Yeah,
like,
it's
say,
like a war zone.
totally. It's like you say you burn your school burns and
yeah,
a
it looked like a
neighborhood
nuclear
burns.
bomb went off.
Yeah.
But when your
My-
school, your neighborhood, your market,
Yeah.
you have nothing, nowhere to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the Rose Bowl, they're doing some stuff right now, like, putting water out and stuff.
They were having as an animal shelter, and then they rescinded that, and they ended up with a warning. So it wasn't very far from there. My friend Dermot that lives in Altadena, the fire came 100 feet from his house.
Hair raising. They lost, what, 20 plus fatalities?
He was in, I think so. He was in Cuba while the fire started, and I said, hey, is your house okay?
Hey, we're back to your favorite song.
Yeah.
You were saying a band we were talking earlier. What was that band you were talking
The
about?
13th floor elevators.
The 13th Floor Elevators is the name of the band?
Yeah.
What's the name of the tune?
You're going to miss me.
Well, I'm going to miss you, of course, when I leave, but what's the name of the song?
You said you were leaving.
The name of the song is You Said You Were Leaving. Wait.
You're going to miss me.
You're Gonna Miss Me is the name of the song. And
I think he's having some kind of audio visual trouble. What happened?
I just got shit on by a bird.
You're kidding.
What?
ladies and gentlemen, our cameraman just got
on
shit
my
on by
head.
a bird.
I was gonna say, where's the bathroom?
Oh my God! Is it while we're running? You got shit on right now?
Yeah, just now.
All right, cut it.
I mean,
Hi, welcome back to the Anarchy Hour. Just hanging out with Ed. Ed's my
And I'm
man.
Anton. And this is
Anton.
Ed.
Creepy.
Ed, you were saying.
Oh, by the end of 1983, I'd worked on 80 LA punk rock records. And Toxic Shock and Pomona put out the Noise from Nowhere single.
Bill.
Yeah, and
Toxic Shock Pomona, huh?
he just did a book. And there was a 7-inch compilation. It was called Noise from Nowhere, and on the back he put on there, it says, surprise, no photos by Ed Colver.
Punk is so dry, but so gosh darn funny.
A friend of mine just sent me the Shattered Faith thing. It says, yet another album cover by Ed Colver.
Which one? Which Shattered Faith one was it? Was this the one with the bones?
The
on
first one, I think, yeah.
Are there any other album covers that we didn't mention on the list that we put
dude,
together?
Dude,
I mean,
there was 500.
I know. Ed's got
500 album
which
covers.
punk ones that we didn't mention that you did? Because
Well, I did the photos on Christian Dad's album.
I saw a lot of Rick Agnew stuff too. A lot of Rick Agnew stuff.
and what other ones?
Circle Jerks, China White, Bad Religion, Hell Be Any Worse.
Which Bad Religion record? No Control.
The first one.
Which? Oh, how could hell be?
How could hell be any worse?
It
Bad
can't
Religion.
be. It can't be.
And it was red too, like the India ink that you had on the Damaged Punch.
Where
right?
did you shoot that one?
Where?
Yeah.
That's L.A., right?
Yeah, it's by the Hollywood Bowl. I shot it from up where the cross is on the hill across from the Hollywood Bowl.
Another iconic.
It's smoggy Hollywood. People think it's L.A. and it's like, no, you can see L.A. way back on the left side. That's downtown L.A. over there. This is Hollywood because the Capitol building's right there.
Right.
And then actually I told him to use that Gustave Doré illustration from Dante's Inferno on the back.
Right.
Dante Alighieri, and where they're standing by those steaming holes in the ground and stuff.
Yeah.
I told him to use that. And
Classic.
Credit his work. Yeah, there was records like the Superheroines. I did that. I did the 3 portraits, and then I did the collage of them together for the cover of their first album, Cry for Help. Anti, Symbol 6,
I remember that one.
RF7.
I remember that one. The list is like thick.
Yeah,
thick
keep going.
as
What
it
else
goes.
did you do? I mean, I saw a bunch of them. And I just wrote down. I just kind of jotted.
I don't know. Legal Weapons.
Oh, Legal Weapon.
The first 4 albums. The Sleep and Safety, Autopsy, and Party Time. Those 345 Grave album covers.
Diana.
Party Time. Didn't that have a picture of Dinah Cancer on a bed? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was on a bed in the alleyway at Cafe de Grand, right?
No, it was down by Al's Bar.
By Al's Bar?
Yeah, I want to go back and find that place. I'm sure it's all paved over. And
Al's Bar?
Oh, you never know. That was
where I shot that
Oh,
album cover.
It might still be there. It was a pretty good alley, you know. They'd have to tear down a lot of stuff to get that thing. Yeah, because, well, maybe we'll take one of these days. We'll just take our show and try to find some places, you know what I mean?
Oh,
you want to go with us?
That would be fun.
Okay, well, that'll be maybe another episode. Yeah, so what do you think about those Rams?
Yeah, what about those Dodgers?
Not to change the subject of those Dodgers.
I hate.
Yes. See, like I said, punk rock is a sport, you know, because we all run around, and Ed's
It's
like
bread and circus.
Ed would be the guy at a
Bread
football
and
game to
circus.
take pictures of the football players, but we were the players. I mean, his archives are like I swear, the tens of thousands of photographs. That is just incredibly awesome of you to collect so much stuff, you know, from something you just were doing for fun, and you saw some interest in like what I did. It was fun to do our own thing. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Ed Colver, for being on the show. Right. You're my brother forever, and we appreciate it from the bottom of our heart and stuff. And from the Anarchy Hour, me and Anton, we want to wish you a good evening. Rock and roll.
Anton out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you. Anarchy
Honor.
Hour.
It's an honor.